Okay. Obviously, we had our Sprint Cup qualifying was rained out, and we have set the field per the rule book and per our race procedures. And Casey Mears will line up first, and he'll get the first pit stall selection. And Casey, talk about that, how that would play into tomorrow night. You're driving the number 13 Geico Ford, and talk about pacing the field here tomorrow night.
Oh, well, it's exciting. I think for our team, Germain Racing, it's been a long couple of years. It's been good, but it's the team's really grown in strides, and we've made a lot of big improvements this year. Still have a lot to learn, still have a lot to grow, but it's a big shot in the arm for our team for sure. Geico's made a big commitment to our program. Bob Germain has done a lot of really good things this year to increase, just making everything better. We've been able to get cars from Roush, cars, parts, and pieces. We still don't get the information, but Booty and the guys have done a really good job at doing their homework at Bristol. We were pretty embarrassed at how we showed up here last time. The first part of the year, we didn't get our first car until late January from Roush, so we were playing catch up the first part of this year, and to be able to put a little time into it and work at it. Booty and these guys did a really good job. We unloaded way better than we were here last time. Race trim felt pretty good as well, and when they switched over to qualifying trim, we were 15th to 12th, and they made a substantial adjustment in the right direction, and we were able to shoot to the top of the board. So it's exciting for us. I think it's going to be good. Obviously, starting up front at Bristol, period, is always a good thing. And, like I said, it's exciting, I think, for our team to be able to have this opportunity to have the first pit selection starting up towards the front. It gives us a big head start from where we've been in the past.
Take some questions for Casey. We've got one right over here, Mike Embry.
Mike Embry, Speed.com. Casey, obviously you had the right setup with the top speed there. What's your guess or your impression about how the track's going to be different, how the race might be different with the top groove change like it has been?
Really, it's hard to say yet because where they actually worked on the track, we haven't actually been all the way up there yet. I've seen some guys flirting with the edge of it, so it's really going to be hard to say. I think the race tonight will give you a better idea of maybe what we can expect more of tomorrow night. As of right now, there just really isn't a good comment to make at the time because nobody's really ran up there where they've really changed the surface yet. If it keeps guys from running up against the wall, I think it could make it a little bit more competitive just because, when guys are running right up against the fence and it's really hard to pass guys down underneath, you're hesitant to get in the back of them and kind of move them out of the way a little bit because it's going to put them in the wall right away, running that close to the fence. So if it can kind of keep guys, within a car width or a car width and a half away from the wall, it's going to allow for at least some of that brings, some of that old style racing back a little bit.
Anybody else have a question for Casey Mears? Bob Pockris, and then Nate Ryan.
Bob Pockris, Sport News. And this is a race where you guys are running the full distance.
Yes. Yes. That's a valid question. We have a partial season, and Geico's really stepped up this year and actually done more than they said they were going to do initially, which has been huge. Bob Germain has made a very substantial, personal investment into this program. His heart's in it. So we've grown, at least 6 or 8 races more than we were going to run this year already. Bristol is one that we're definitely going to run. We run next weekend in Atlanta. So a good run here would definitely, set us off right for a good week next week as well.
We'll go Nate, then we'll go to Al. Go ahead, Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Kind of following up on that, Casey, you qualified with the setup for qualifying, but your race setup, expectations for the beginning of the race. I know this can kind of be a tough place to, if you're slower, you get out of the way.
It's the obvious question, right? Your qualifying setup was great. How's your race setup? I felt pretty good about it. It wasn't outstanding. I wasn't jumping up and down in race trim, but we were definitely right in the mix. So it wasn't one of those deals where we're 35th in race trim and then we jumped up to first for qualifying. So fortunate with that. The guys, like I said, they've done their homework. The car is pretty good for the race tomorrow. We tried some real big things kind of in second practice, just trying to get a direction, knowing that what we did in the first practice was working pretty well. So, I'm excited about it. I think we've got a good starting spot. We've got a good race car, and we'll be looking for a solid night tomorrow.
Go Al Pierce, and then back over behind him, Marty Smith.
Casey Mears from Auto Week, Al Pierce from Auto Week. You would look like a
Casey.
genius. Yeah, like I'm not. You would look like a genius if you told us you made a bonsai lap to get fastest knowing it was going to rain. I assume that's not the case.
Well, honestly, the way that it's structured right now, we all try to run as fast as we can the first practice because we know how good a late draw is here at Bristol. And there is other tracks, obviously where it wouldn't be as important, but definitely having a late draw here always helps. I think it's you never want to get a pole like this, but we'll definitely take it. I can tell you that. And the other thing is that everybody was trying to run as fast as they could in that first practice. Is there a little bit more left? I think there always is when you go to qualify. But believe me, everybody wanted to go out last, in qualifying today. So we're pretty proud of the fact that we were fastest in that first practice just because of that. That everybody has that same mindset. And, I think it shows that we have a pretty competitive car. So I'm excited about it. Thank you.
Let's go Marty and then Jim Utter. Go ahead, Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Casey, Greg Biffle was in here earlier talking about how fine the line is even from winning in 12th place. It's just so it's so close in terms of the competition. So for a team that's a part-time deal, scrapping and clawing, how do you guys define victory? Like what is a successful weekend for the 13 car? When you go home feeling really good?
I think that today was a small one for sure for our program. Then obviously, if we can end up, for sure inside the top 15 tomorrow, that would be a real good day for us. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've been in the sport for a long time. My expectations are high, booties are high. Believe me, Bob and Geico's are high as well, and we all want to go win races. But the reality of it is that we've been a team that's done a very good job getting from 30th. In the last year and a half to running consistently inside the top 20. And we've been, slowly chipping away at possibly getting inside the top 15. And I think that although we've had a great day today, I think our goals are still the same. If we could have a good top 15, it would be a huge day for us. If we got inside the top 10, it would almost be like a win. And if we can, start and run well like I think we can tomorrow, we could really, really exceed, what would be a great day for us. So it's a tough balance when you're in a competition-based sport, obviously. And for being in this sport as long as I have very, very, very high goals, but at the same time, you got to be realistic with what you are working with, what you're working towards, and where you're at that current time. And for us, if we were to get a top 15, it'd be a big day for us.
Let's go final question over here, Jim Utter. To your right there, Casey.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. Kind of a follow-up to Marty's question. For you personally, at this point in your career, what are you looking for, and how does being and working with the Germain organization help you in whatever goal that is?
Man, it's a pretty wide open question, really. I mean, I look to win races. When I look at the reality of that, with where we're at right now, we're still a little ways from that. If it's not to say that we can't do it, but there's just so many details at the end of the day that you really have to cover to actually win one of these races. We have an opportunity tomorrow night, but at the same time, what I've really enjoyed about this is I think it's my 10th year, at this level, and having the experience that I've had over the years, it's been fun to be a part of a program where they lean and rely on me a lot to get to where we're going. I'm a huge part in everything that we do, in the meetings, where we decide to go. Ford's been a big help to us this year, which has been outstanding. Obviously having the relationship with Roush has been good, but behind the scenes, how we do things, Booty, myself, Larry Rogers, Bob Germain, we sit down and kind of discuss what we're going to do next, and this program just continues to grow, and it's really rewarding to see how we've grown over the last couple of years. I tell you what, when you talk about getting inside the top 20, the top 15, when you start looking at the 3 and 4 car teams that should be inside the top 20 on a weekly basis, when you finish 18th or 16th as a one-car organization, scrapping and clawing for everything you do, you've just beat 6 or 8 teams that really you shouldn't have beat. So I'm proud of what we've done this year. We've definitely made a lot of strides, and we see a big future. I think at the end of the day, we don't we don't look at those top 20s and go, this is as far as we're going to go. We see us improving and going in the right direction, and I'm just excited about it. The path is going the right way. I mean, today proves that to a certain extent. We definitely improved from the last time we were here. The first time I came here with Jermaine Racing, this is the 2-year anniversary for me. The first time I came here was at Bristol. We came here with intentions of making the show, and we weren't going to race. This was not a race that we were going to race. We qualified 43rd, and I think in the first 10 laps we passed 10 cars and pulled in. Worst thing I ever did in my life, Today, at the end of practice 2 years later, we were quick time, So I think that says a lot for, how far this team's come.